One of those lawmakers demanding answers about Libya is the chair of the House Armed Services Committee, Buck McKeon. The congressman has sent these letters to senior military commanders asking simple yes-no questions about what happened in Benghazi. Congressman McKeon sent those letters with a 24-hour deadline to respond. However, he's now being told that they will not make that deadline. Congressman joining us live now. Welcome, Congressman. Great to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
We now know that multiple warnings about security threats were contained in Ambassador Stevens' own words in several cables to Washington. This against a backdrop of 2 prior bombings of the Benghazi compound and the assassination attempt on the British ambassador. Why are your efforts to get answers being stonewalled?
You know, we don't know. On Thursday, as you said, I sent a series of direct yes or no questions to senior commanders within our military. The inquiry asked a series of yes or no questions regarding any advice or warning that those commanders may have given to the State Department prior to the 9/11 attack in Benghazi. Essentially, what I wanted to know was, had they or anyone in their command warned the State Department of any problem that they had in Libya or had offered any help? And I gave them 24 hours to respond. On Friday, we received a call from the senior officials in the Department of Defense saying that they would not respond in a timely manner, and they did not say when they would be able to answer our question. At the same time, they went on to say that they would not be responsive to a previous request that we had asked about special operations activities surrounding the incident, that they would not be giving us an answer to those to that request. You know, in 5 weeks, it seems like those commanders already know the answers to the questions that I asked. It seems to me that the American people deserve to know if the White House and the State Department were using all of the information available prior to 9/11. I'm really troubled by the way this incident is unfolding, because for all the president's talk about wanting to get information to the American people, they're not being responsive, and I just don't see it happening.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, 7 House committee chairmen actually sent a detailed list of questions as well to the White House on September 25th, and for that, you also received no response. Do you believe the president then has been lying to the American people?
We asked for that over 3 weeks ago.
So do you think the president's lying to the American people to further a specific campaign narrative that concerns about al-Qaeda have been diminished?
Well, you know, I watched the debate, and I heard him say that he went into the Rose Garden immediately after and the attack and said it was a terrorist attack. But we know that 5 days after the attack, the ambassador to the United Nations went on 5 television shows and said it was just a spontaneous combustion, that I guess people just showed up for a demonstration with mortars and RPGs. We know that that wasn't the truth. The American people know that it wasn't the truth. So if they're not telling the truth, then the only thing left, I guess, is either a cover-up or a lie.
So how surprised were you and troubled to learn that our own ambassador actually sent a cable to D.C. on September 11th, the day that he and 3 of his colleagues were murdered, saying he was really worried about his security?
You know, the more I hear about this, and it's just coming from the media, we're not getting this from the White House. We have not, as we've talked about, had any response to serious requests that we've made of the White House. And it's the first time in my service that I've seen the Secretary of Defense prohibit the uniformed military from being able to respond to a direct question from the chairman of the Armed Services Committee. This, to me, it looks like they're just trying to hush this whole thing up, hope it goes away, and wait till after the election. They're wrong. The American people are getting engaged in this. Everywhere I go, people talk to me about this. They're concerned. You know, they can take the truth, and I can't understand for the life of me why the president just doesn't go out and say, look, this is what really happened, because people already know. And to think that we left that ambassador out there on his own without the adequate protection just sickens me, frankly.
Let me ask you really quickly in the final moments I have with you. We're hearing about this video that reportedly shows the events as they were unfolding in real time on that fateful day. Should that video be released, and what do you know about it?
All I know is what I've heard from the media, And it seems to me that the longer they hold out, the longer they wait to show the people, the more interest is going to be developed. They ought to just get out there. They ought to tell everything they know. You know, usually all of the problems that erupt in Washington, when there's a cover-up, it's always worse than the incident itself. They ought to just come clean, tell us what happened, admit that mistakes were made, and make corrections for the future, because this is just going to be a deeper and bigger hole that they're digging.
All right.